Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Fatback 4 for this Sunday night, the fourth Sunday of 2021. I want to wish you all a very, very, very happy new year, no matter where you are in the world. I know Grizz wants to do that too, and I know Seany does as well. And Ray Brady, if he can sort his internet out, will be joining us at some stage. He had a beautiful Argentina jersey on. He was literally trying to be Keith Plunkett, but it's gone a little bit awry, but he will be back at some stage. This show, of course, is brought to you by Manscaped, manscaped.com. Go to manscaped.com, use LFC DT at checkout and get 20% off and free shipping. We'll have more on Manscaped later on. Grizz, Happy New Year. How are you, my man?
I'm very good, man. Happy New Year to you, Gav, and Shawnee as well. It's like we're saying it like we fucking don't speak to each other every day, cunts.
Yeah.
But Happy New Year, Happy New Year to everyone else who's viewed in and listeners. How many we got in the house right now?
I don't know.
Do you know what you should? Do you know what you should do actually, Gav? Before we start, we should always say as you come in, all the viewers, listeners, as you come in, click the like button. That's the first thing that you do because that's respectful, right? It's like when you come into someone's house. You wipe your feet.
You take your shoes off.
You take your shoes off. We're not asking you to do that. We're asking you just to click a like button, and then we go from there. But Happy New Year anyway to everyone. Okay. We'll be more happy. We'd be more happier if you just click the like button as you come in.
Yeah. Okay. All we asked for was a Happy New Year. You've just literally just had a go at everyone there.
Yeah, no, you know what? It's just like the ratio of our likes to views and listeners is poor. It's like they don't like us, and I don't believe for a second people don't like us.
Listen, they might. Can I just let you know, people, on your way in, if you'd like to hit the like button, or on your way out, if you'd like to hit the like button, that would be absolutely fantastic. Beautiful. That's probably a much better way to say it than the way Grizz has.
Yeah, well, everyone has their own style, innit, Gav?
Yeah, well, the fourth word you used when you come on here, fourth word, I think was, you know what it was, but we won't go back to that. Seany, busy watching something on the telly there. Is it a new series you're watching, Seany? What is it?
Just rolling that God.
All right, okay. Happy New Year, Seany.
Gav, Happy New Year, and Grizz, same to you and all you mad fuckers in the chat. Hopefully it's better than the last one, and by better I mean that we can actually go and watch the parade
football.
when we went. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Hopefully it is a better year in 2021. Hopefully the vaccines get out, people get them and are able to either go out with their mates and watch football or actually go to Liverpool and watch the Reds. Look, tonight we're going to need your help a little bit tonight, actually, because we're going to talk about the Southampton game tomorrow night. We're going to try preview that. We're going to have a little chat around transfers. Promise you, we will have a little chat around transfers. And also on New Year's Eve, or maybe the day before, we put out a tweet thanking people for everything they've helped us with over 2020. And we just asked for your favourite moments from the shows over the past, I suppose, 5-6 months, because that's when we really got into YouTube. And some of the responses that come back had me in fits laughing. Some of them I had completely forgotten, and they were absolutely brilliant. The main one being Ronaldo flicking balls on for Shane Long to chase, which is still go down as one of the best nights of all time. But later on, we're going to discuss some of them. So if you want to throw them in the chat later on when it comes about, throw them in and we'll have a little bit of a laugh for 15-20 minutes. But listen, we're going to get on to Southampton v Liverpool at St Mary's tomorrow night, 8 p.m. And Liverpool go into this one, Seany, off the back of a draw with West Brom, a draw with Newcastle. You know, we were having a discussion in the WhatsApp group about, I suppose, about the form this season and where we see ourselves going and all. I think we're probably on par for where we should be, Seany, with all everything that's gone on. But this one is a big one, Seany, isn't it? This one is one where we just need to, not for everything that's going on around us, just kind of put those two draws out of the way. They happen and get back on the bike.
Yeah, 100%. On par is, I think being about, I think we're overperforming to an extent. I think with the injuries that we had, if we had been maybe 3 or 4 points out of reach at this stage, it probably would have been understood, sort of, you know what I mean? But now, on par is fair enough. When you look at the rest of the league, it's weird because, Gal, I had a thing today about at the end of the day, at the end of the games, where they show that the league table, and this year the league table looks more like a league table should. Like the Premier League is what, 20 since 92, so nearly 30 years now in existence, and this is the standard. This is why the Premier League was regarded the best league in the world, because it's normally always like this, but the last 3 years haven't been. The first year was City 100 points. They just trailblazed it. The year before that, it was us and City out miles ahead and like mental points, and then last year was us. This year is more falling into and we're just not used to it. So I think this is why maybe Liverpool fans are a little bit disappointed. We're top of the fucking league, you know what I mean? And we need to get the finger out, though. There's no doubt about it. I don't care how you paint it. Say what you want, we're top after these injuries. I don't care. We shouldn't be dropping points at home to West Brom, away to Fulham, or these relegation fodder. We should be beating them. And if you want to win a league, that's what you have to do. And we know that by now, because we've played title-winning football now for the best part of 2 seasons, because we did it as well in the last year. We were good enough to win the title. It was just City were better. So we have to get the finger out now. There's no more excuses. The 4 drop points in the last fortnight have killed us. They really have, because we could have been out on our own despite all of our injuries, and we're not. And we only have ourselves to thank now. We've given these fuckers hope. Now, one thing I will stick with, the rest are all pretenders. It's us and City. I've maintained this the whole time in the WhatsApp groups. Everyone is going on about who they see as a threat. It's us and City. And that was a bit of a...
Whoever takes the lead, usually. Whoever takes the lead is a threat in our group.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if Villa go 1-0 up away to Burnley, you know what I mean? That's just the way it is. The red side of Manchester was getting a little bit noisy, but I noticed a little bit scut bum tonight when they watched a championship team, a championship performance from City. Let's be honest, they were very, very impressive in a game where you'd expect them to struggle. This is the City side. We know they can do that. They know we can do that. They also know that United can't fucking do that. They know that Spurs can't do that. It's us and them, Gav. We need to get the finger out. Tomorrow night is huge. A must-win game in January in terms of the league. This is a must-win. I don't care what anyone says. We need to get the finger out, because we haven't been good enough.
Look, I'm saying on par because of the situation, and you're saying we're probably overachieving. People in the chat are saying we're underachieving, and you're right what you're saying. This does look a bit like a league table. It usually does. I disagree slightly. I think there's probably 7-8 teams are in 6 points of the lead after 16-17 games. It's not usually like that. You might get 2 or 3 that kind of pull away a little bit, and you might get 4 or 5 that were in 10 points of the league. But to have 7 or 8 within 6 points, it just shows what sort of mad season it is. And I know what you're saying about dropping points here, there, and everywhere, and they are disappointing, especially against the teams they're against. But I do kind of look at it a little bit and go, yeah, we were poor in games, absolutely. But I think when I look at the changes we're having to make, the amount of games we're having to play, it's going to happen to everyone. I maintain that whoever comes away in the next 5 months or so with the best injury record, I think will win the league. I genuinely believe that, and I think you're right, Seany. I think it will come. Realistically, everything being even, I think us and City will come down to who has the least injuries. I think that's how it'll be. Ray, thanks for joining us. How are you, my man?
Hello. How are we? All right.
Yeah, I'm good. We were just saying you're doing your best to beat Key Plunkett tonight with the retro Argentina jersey. You're doing a great job. People have already mentioned that you have more hair than him, but look, you paid a fortune.
Just about. Just rookie special.
Yeah, well, you paid a lot of money for it, and you've every right to show it off. But for you, Ray, you haven't been on
the arse, Gav.
Not after the last time, Ray. Ray, for you, you haven't been on a pod in a little while, so to get your insight on this is important. Seany's right. A lot of people are making a lot of noise around a couple of sides, and I think he's right. Us and City, realistically, are the two you have to be. Where do you see Liverpool at the moment? Are you optimistic as to, all right, it's top of the table, which is great, but looking forward with players to come back, the optimism is there. Are you like that, or is it a case of, oh, fuck this?
No, I think you switch in your head, you switch from one thing to the next. I've maintained with all the injuries all along that as far as where I'd be happy with Liverpool was sort of hanging on the coattails of whoever was in front, but I was expecting the usual suspects to be doing that rather than the group that are doing it now, the large group that are doing it now. I think, I'll be honest, I think to write any of them off at the minute and think they're not real challengers in a season that's proven to be mad, when it seems that we're almost saying, okay, our lads haven't hit form, so therefore they will. And there's every possibility that we don't click into the gear that we know we can click into. It's been that type of season. So if if it turns around and both us and City play to our potential, there's no doubt we're the best teams in the league. But this season has proven that so far we haven't clicked into gear. City haven't either. Good performance today, but no guarantee that they can do that consistently. And likewise us, we've thrown out some absolute shit, along with some even the Palace game with the shitload of goals. Jesus, the start of that match, I thought we were fucking piss poor again. So it's mental. I wouldn't nail me colours to the cross just yet, but I've no doubt if we hit the form we're capable of, as in last year's type of form and last year's type of performances, and likewise City do the same, then yeah, it'll be the same too again. I think when both of us click, we're much better than the others. But what I'm saying is I don't think there's a guarantee that either of us will hit that form.
Chris Brack says R.I.P. Jerry Marsden. Of course, Jerry Marsden at 78 has passed away. The man famous for "You'll Never Walk Alone," and our condolences do go out to Jerry's family, friends, and everyone associated with him at the club as well, because he's a lot of friends at Liverpool Football Club. Grizz, the narrative going around before we get into the Southampton game in particular, the narrative going around is that United are back, and Liverpool are bottling this and stuff like that. I've seen it from different parties. Does that say a lot for you that United seem to be put up there as outstanding and are on 33 points, and Liverpool have been said to be terrible and are on 33 points? Is that a narrative that you think is okay to run with, and does it show the levels that are actually there between the sides, regardless of what points we're sitting on right now?
It definitely shows the levels. I mean, that's very clear. You hear that as you talk about narratives, the narratives coming out from sort of Man United is of one of resurgence, and we're in this title race, and we're sat at the top of the tree thinking, what the fuck have we done for the first 18 games? This has been a disaster show, and we're actually pissed off that we're not clear already in the league, and that just shows you. I think Seany touched upon the levels that we provided. In recent years, we've been superhuman, Gav. And now, with everything that's going on in terms of injuries and COVID and fixture congestion, we're mere mortals. We're very much like anyone else now. As Ray says, we potentially are the best team in the league. We are the best team in the league, but we haven't reached that potential yet. Now, in my opinion, for us to reach that potential, we need to get some God-given luck with injuries. That's the first and foremost. And I truly believe once we get the likes of Jota and Matip hopefully back within a few weeks, I think I still make us favourites. But, I think Ray's assessment was spot on. I, for one, I'm not going to completely rule out the likes of Man United, just on the basis of that they are managed by a coach that is not renowned for tactical nous. I'm not going to write them off because I truly believe they've got fantastic players, and we had fantastic players in 2014, 13, 14, where we nearly pulled it off. Freestyle football, freestyle, and they're playing freestyle football. There's no tactical structure to the way they play. Every time we watch them play, we think we can beat them, we can get them, but they're winning games, and we know its momentum is massive. So, but look, if Man City and us remotely play to our potential, then we should in the next few weeks walk away from that gap of group that you're talking about in terms of the proximity of the other teams. But we're yet to show it, and City are beginning to show it, and so therefore makes, as Seany said earlier, tomorrow is fucking huge. It's humongous. New year, we forget about recency, what we've done in the past, and we have to get it out of our mind. And it's like the league starts tomorrow, because us and Man City, let's just assume they've won their games in hand. We're all level. So it's a level start now, and this is how it is. They've got COVID issues, injury issues. We've got major Gomez and Virgil. But apart from that, the majority of our squad is back now. So it's all gung ho now.
Scott Willick says City are more dangerous than United by far. I'd agree with that. The only thing I would say on United is, I'm not completely right. I'm with Ray a little bit on this, because the season is so mad. Now I know Grizz and Seany absolutely feel, and Jamie, I suppose, that's in our WhatsApp group, feel that Man City are the absolute threat. And that's absolutely fine. I have no issue, because anyone telling you that City aren't are a bit mad. But I'm with Ray a bit on this. You can't write anyone off yet, because for argument's sake, if United were to go through this season and not pick up any major injuries, I think they could just run on adrenaline. They're getting that bit of luck. They're grinding out results, which they are. Like, people are saying, oh, well, they're poor. Well, listen, how many times have we said Liverpool were poor but won to sign a champion? You see it all the time. But
I'll counteract that, Gav.
Oh, lovely. Go on, Shawnee.
Yeah, I love it. I'll counteract you.
Yeah.
He
didn't even object to the judge. He just fucking jumped in.
No, just straight in there.
Yeah. You see these games, them 50-50 games, you will not win the league just going on. They will not win them 50-50 games all the time. Yeah. They're doing that now. And I can guarantee you that they will not. That's just a fact. Yeah. They won't. They will not. Because they've looked far more solid since Boyes came in, but he's not going to stay fit. It's just not going to happen. It'll be Lindelof and Maguire again, and it'll be a shit show at the back again. They've got massively lucky. Now, I fucking hate Manchester United with every fibre of me being. And I'd hate to be kept up at the thought of them pipping us to a title. But I'm not at all worried because I just don't think the gut is there. There's too many. They've a lot of quality players, but there's still too many individuals in the team likely to let them down at any one moment. Yeah, and that will happen. And if it comes into a run in, you know the way a run in is. It's fucking scuff bum. You have to win every single week. They will absolutely capitulate. They will not.
This is what I was saying earlier on a side note. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. That sounds great, and yeah, Shawnee, you could be 100% right, but that's still on the premise that Liverpool and City don't or start playing to their potential and don't fuck away games the way they've done against West Brom, Brighton.
That's my thinking.
And it's not so much that I think Manchester United are all this brilliant. It's whether Liverpool and City can sort of up to the levels that we've expected for the last 2 years. And there's no, in my head anyway, there's no guarantee that will happen. It's just been mental from us getting stuffed 7-2. It's crazy. It's just fucking crazy. And listen, there's no doubt in my mind. I'd put my mortgage on it. If we hit any type of form, we're well capable, and we will pull away from.
Well, yeah, with that, you're loaded. You don't even have a fucking mortgage, for fuck's sake.
That's you. You're the man of leisure.
No, I'm not a man of leisure. If you see what I have to do every day, and I'm definitely not a man of leisure. And then when Grizz sends his invoice in, sure, I've fucking nothing left. I'm on beans on toast for most of the week. Then Kieran Tormer, the super chat, he says Grizz isn't going to write United off. I'll do it for you, mate. United only slightly better than they were when Ole took over. United toured at best. But listen, I'm all for the whole. Can they sustain it when it comes to the crunch if he gets some injuries? But I think Ray is spot on. Liverpool and City in particular need to, if they stamp any sort of authority on this league, and listen, if they win 8 in a row, if Liverpool go and win 8 in a row, United are nowhere near them, because I think United depend more on the inconsistency of this league, and it could just be one of those seasons where the inconsistency helps the side. And not only United, Shawnee, I'm
lucky would they have to be though, Gav, for us?
Extremely.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, extremely.
Because you look at City's next 6 games, and I seen a stat there tonight. See, that game today was the first time City have won 3 league games in a row since 2018-2019 season. This is my fucking worry. They are a machine waiting to go, no matter what you say.
Yeah, but so are we, Shawnee.
Exactly, Gav. And their next 5 or 6 games are fucking all winnable against the bottom of the league fodder. If they were to take maximum points for that, I think it's an uphill struggle for us. Big time.
Well, I think a lot of Liverpool fans have looked at this season, particularly after what happened at Goodison Park and Jota, and a couple of players being Matip Keita in and out all the time, Wembley Chamberlain be back, stuff like that. I think Liverpool fans have looked at it and went, listen, let's get through to mid to end of January and see where we are. I genuinely would take, if you said to me you're going to be winning 4 or 5 points at the lead at the end of January, I'd absolutely take it, knowing THIAGO be in full rhythm, Jota be back, and that's a little slump we may be in, and it's probably not shown results-wise overall, but I think form, has gone a little bit, and I think if that comes back, I'd absolutely back us towards the back end of the season. Dinesh,
you have to say, Shawnee's point though on City, the fact of smelling blood, which hasn't been the case obviously last season because they were literally just looking at our shadow in the distance. With them smelling blood and having a tent, it'd be interesting seeing just how good they can be. This would be a different one for them, and not fucking miles ahead. So yeah, it's a wait and see. But look, if we're there or thereabouts and we get the boys back playing, then we're well capable.
Yeah, and look, it is one of those where you'd say in City smell blood, but I'd love to see City come up against Liverpool again and see what City are made of, because it's been thrown at them, and I think quite rightly it's been thrown that the bottle went, especially last season. As soon as Liverpool won the 4-6, City weren't interested.
Gary Neville said something today that fucking scared the life out of me, and I was just... He said, look at De Bruyne chasing. He said, we haven't seen that. These fuckers know now that they're back in it. They shouldn't even been... We should have 8 more points than we have now, and it's not even being hypothetical. You should be beating Fulham, West Brom, and Newcastle. Brighton. Yeah. You should be beating them sides.
But this is why every time we don't pull away, every time we don't win a game, we should win. It does breed confidence in the other teams chasing. Exactly. And this is why, and
they're the last ones you want to get.
I was just going to say, and they're the last ones that you want chasing you, because we've got recent history with them where they won fucking 18 games in a fucking row, and we were just waiting for one fucking slip, and that didn't even come. So until we pull our finger out, because at the end of the day, we're still top, and that means if we get our house in order, we've got the advantage going into this final. We're calling it a final run in fucking January, but it's one of those few months that's going to be where we can't drop points anymore. Like, we've had our mishaps, we've had our misfortune, we've had everything. Take all that into consideration. But every team's going to say they've had the same, right? Whether they've had it or not, they're going to say it, right? So they're going to say we haven't had Aguero, we've not had Jesus for games, whatever. The point is, I think all that stops. I think concentrating on other teams stops now, and we have to really get into the mentality we got into last season, where every game was just get 3 points, get 3 points, become a machine again. And it has to start tomorrow, guys. I'm not having this it's not the end all and be all. Every game has to be that mentality that it is the end all and be all, and that's what made us humans.
There's no way we don't know, as much as I talk about City sniffing blood, there's no way we don't know that the Liverpool approach will be a sort of wounded tiger approach now as well, that they've realised that, hang on for a fucking minute here, we're the fucking champions, stop this fucking, this isn't good enough, and start, that's been a complaint of mine over these games, that I hate using the word arrogance, but there was a little bit of, a fucking knocking around, and you wanted them to grab the game by the fucking throat and fucking, be vicious. Fucking put these teams to bed. Go 1-0 up. Don't start fucking knocking the ball around the penny. Fucking go for the jugular. Get vicious again. So maybe this bad game run that we've been on, maybe it might be the kicking the fucking hole.
Razor, you use the phrase "wounded animal," but we are literally wounded with the fucking injuries, type of injuries. We are wounded, exactly. And so which. The same plays had to be played again and again and again, and we haven't got the best centre back in the world and his protege. That fucking makes a huge difference compared to last season, where the games that Shawnee's mentioned, we would have seen them out.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely rosy now.
It was the margin. The levels have been fucking mental for 2 years. It's just constant winning, relentlessness, and we kept it up last year, and City didn't. That was the difference. That we didn't get our flowers last year, because at the tail end of the season, everyone was like, already done now. But it wasn't football. There was no fans there. There was a break back. We only needed so many wins to get it back. We've seen it in flashes. We were brilliant against Chelsea and Anfield. We are very good at Stamford Bridge. We had a good half an hour at the Etihad. Like Razor, we weren't great against Palace when we won 7-0. I thought the Spurs performance was excellent.
Yeah, Leicester.
Leicester was brilliant. Wolves was brilliant. There's been flashes, but we need to start turning the screw now. And the thing is, there was a little bit of arrogance. I do agree with you. And Gav made the point about us being a little bit cocky against West Brom. And I get that. But our style has changed slightly as well, because we've had to have makeshift back fours, and we haven't been able to play our system the way we've been drilled to play our system. But you're seeing the levels go up. Like, whenever I get a little bit down, I just think of the last 15 against Newcastle. You're seeing the levels going up when he came on the pitch. I don't even need to say his name.
He's fucking ridiculous.
If he stays fit...
Wasn't Naby Keita, was it?
No.
Hey, if he stays fit...
Steve Harkness.
If he stays fit and one of the two lads, either Mo or Sadio, decides that they want to get it together, then we're sucking diesel. one thing I will say about this Liverpool team, and I love it, they've not felt sorry for themselves at any stage, regardless of all of the fucking injustices and injuries we've had under this season. We genuinely haven't. Like, I'm probably different to every other Liverpool fan in this aspect, where after the derby at Goodison, I was kind of going, do you know what? I don't think it's with the injuries we've had. We have the squad there, and then Joe Gomez is gone within a week's time of that. I started to go, okay, maybe we need to reassess here just exactly what this team can do. And they kept going and going and going. They were getting results. Only now, I think, are we starting to see when you have a larger scope, you see the difference when the Virgil's not there. Yeah, 1-0's become 1-0's. So that's where we're lacking. And this is an issue that can be addressed in the window, because Fabinho was that good. We just need we need someone to come in who's a natural centre half who will just take pressure off the young lads coming in. Like what there's talk of Botman and all these young centre halves coming in. I honestly, if you tell me we're gonna fucking roll Robert Hoot out of a freeze chamber for 6 weeks just until Matt comes back, I'd take him. We just need a natural centre half, because I believe that if there's experienced players in the squad with enough quality to do what we need to do, then the rest will take care of itself. But right now, Grizz made a point and he got lashed out by the lads in the group. And in hindsight, I have to agree with him. I wouldn't have any confidence in Nat Phillips or Reece Williams. Not, as good as they've been when they've been called upon.
Not over a stretch of time.
No, they will let you down. And let you down is probably the wrong
phrase.
Yes,
I think I agree.
Yeah, it is. They're just not of the level acquired.
But we are at this, but like, you can bring them in for the odd game here or there, or 60 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever it might be. My point on it is, I think it's very hard to ask Nat Phillips, and in particular Reece Williams, who's had, Kidderminster, wherever he was on loan at, to tell him that you're going to play a half a Premier League season every week and we're expecting to win the league. I think that's huge for a young player, and I don't think it'll work. Let me read out some of these, really, because every time I go to do it, you pricks keep interrupting me, right? So Dinesh says Man United depends on how far they can go in the Europa League, playing Thursday and Sunday. Rafa says Liverpool versus Roma, the first leg, it changed his football life. Well, Jesus, if you're going to pick a night to change your football life, that's not a bad one. 5-0 up. We did get a bit hairy there near the end, didn't we? We started letting a few goals in. Oh, stop the lights. Kieran Thorne says, I guarantee we'll not hear Klopp or Hendo talk about the title now. Back to one game at a time. City have an awful run of games in February and March, he says. I did see Shawnee's. Shawnee sent me a message earlier of the next 6, and in fairness, their next 6 are very, very winnable. Philippe Hunt says, can't drop any more points. City's next 6 games include all of the bottom 7 except for how can the next 6 games include all of the bottom 7? But I know where you're coming from. The next set of games probably include all of the bottom 7 except for Newcastle and Fulham. Time to buckle down and win. Yeah, absolutely fair point. Lads, let's get on.
They're as winnable as our last 4 games that we thought we'd win. So let's just wait and see what they do.
Stefan Mack is shouting his head off in the chat there, saying the problem is their attack, not the defence. But he needs to realise that the reason why the attack aren't firing is because of the issues in defence. We actually haven't been able to apply our system. We haven't even been able to push the line up and put teams under any sustained kind of pressure. We haven't done it. We didn't do it against Spurs. We didn't even do it against Palace when we beat them 7-0. We haven't done that at all this season. We haven't been able to pin teams in and just pick them off. This is why we need a centre half. So
I'd say our go on.
As bad as the front three have been, I know Salah has more goals now than he has at this stage any other season. The performances haven't been quite there, but systematically we haven't been the same. We've had to adapt much more than you can see since Virgil has been out. We just haven't seen it because the results have been mostly okay. But now it's starting to rear its head now.
I think like Avo says, 233 likes, 527 in the chat. Hit the like for the lads to keep bringing the fantastic show for free. We're never going to charge you for it, but we would like you to like if possible. I think there is an argument there, Shawnee, about the attack though, because as much as you adjust your system, and I get that when your system is adjusted, maybe the style of play up front is different, but we're creating we're creating enough where it's just that final ball or the finish, and there's loads of examples of that for me, where if he just squares that properly, or if he rushes himself a bit, he lashes at that, I think we're creating more than enough. I'm gonna say I am genuinely worried about what's going on between Mo Salah and Sadio Mane. I think there's something going on there. I always watch, and I have for the last couple of years, watched their body language, especially when one of them scores a goal. The other person seems to be the last over to them, and the celebration seems to be very muted, I suppose. Just for me, the way they play together, I'm reading probably way too much into it, but I think there's something going on there. I'm going to be honest. I want to
say something real quick. Actually, you're getting lynched here on my WhatsApp by my brother who was watching the show live. My brother Alan, saying you should be removed from your home and stoned to death for drinking Guinness out of a car's glass.
I'll tell you what happened. Let me explain. And see you, Alan, you fucking mouthpiece, right? You wouldn't say it to me face, you spa. I'm only messing with you, I love you. Did I meet you? Did I meet him?
You did, yeah.
Yeah, he's sound. Whatever one I met, they're all sound.
That'll be thought you were a prick.
I know. Listen, most people do, Ray. But what I would say about the course glass is I broke 2 Guinness glasses over Christmas, and then went down to my mother's, and she doesn't even drink, my mother, and she treated them in the press. I said I better take 1 or 2 of them home, and forgot. But listen, Al, I drink it out fucking at him, pal. Very nosy, isn't he? Busy, very fucking busy, Al is. But anyway, no, I'm messing with you, Al. Happy Christmas, Happy New Year, my man, and I'll see you soon, pal. For a pint of Guinness in a course glass. I'm very busy. Lads, let's get on to this game, and let's get on to it in a little bit of detail. Grizz, I'm going to come to you first. There's talk that McCarthy is out, the goalkeeper for.
Yeah, no, it's definitely
right. Do they have Gunn as their backup? Am I right?
No, they've got Fraser Forster. Remember him?
Oh well, yes. Right,
Lev Yashin.
Lev Yashin, as he's been known at about 10 o'clock tomorrow. But there's talk of him being out, or he is definitely out. Vestergaard rumoured to be out. Also, is Theo Walker
Redmen.
out?
Yeah, Vestergaard is definitely out as well.
Okay.
Is Theo Walker out? Is that how bad we are?
No, I didn't know. It's just people in the chat were telling us who was out. But Vestergaard is out. Redmond is out. And the goalkeeper is out, so okay. They are missing a few. But Grizz, going into this one, we've seen Southampton. I've seen a lot of them this season, because I really like that manager. They upset me when they played United because they were really good, and then the legs fell off after 60 minutes, and United came back and beat them. What are you expecting from this tomorrow? Because I think they suit us, Grizz. I'm going to be honest. I really do think they suit us.
I would agree with you in a normal season. I'm sorry to say that fucking shit line again, but in a normal season, I'd agree with you. This is a mad season, Gev. And tomorrow's going to be high octane stuff, because this team don't fuck about when it comes to pressing and pressure. And they're not going to be West Brom. They're not going to be Newcastle. They're not going to be even Fulham. They're going to be, the manager himself sort of models his tactics and philosophy on football on Jurgen Klopp, which means high energy, high pressing. And I get what you mean. When teams play a high line against us, it's, whoa, you're really stupid. But, we got to put them to the sword. We can't just keep saying, this game suits us, this game suits us. We've got to put our sort of, action into words, words into action, other way around. Tomorrow's going to be, I think it's going to be a frantic pace set by them, and we have to match them. I think you rested Genie for this game. 100% believe that. I definitely think THIAGO starts tomorrow as well. I think we pick up the best available 11 to really go gung ho with them and match them in their intensity, because they're going to play a very high intense game. And if we can match that, then we can pick them off, because they haven't got their best centre back. They haven't got their first choice keeper. I don't know, and if anyone knows in the chat, I don't think Fraser Forster's played for a while. So, we got to test him. Recently we haven't been testing opposition keepers enough, but we got to do that tomorrow. I get what you're saying in terms of they would suit us on a, in normal situation, but our forwards are just, apart from Bobby, the irony of it is we were worried about Bobby's form at the start of the season or the first couple of months, and then Bobby started getting back to his best, and then the other two, But anyway, there's always the next game to look forward to, and people have said to me, how often have we had 3 bad results or 3 bad performances in a row? And I couldn't think of the last time we had 3 bad performances in a row.
Fraser Forster hasn't played since 2019. Surely not. Wow. He was on loan at Celtic, wasn't he?
I don't know. That's why I asked, because I haven't seen him about.
Yeah, a couple of people are saying he hasn't played for a while. He has turned in 1 or 2 very, very good performances against Liverpool. People are saying there that Che Adams hasn't trained either today with Southampton, so that could be another player that they're missing. Kevin Sullivan says Klopp said that THIAGO was gassed after 12 minutes. If he starts, I'll be shocked. I agree with you. I don't think he starts. I think this is going to be a 3 or 4 game thing. Possibly where you see him coming on and then making his way into the side, but I really hope he plays against Manchester United in a little over a week's time. Ray, going into this one, people are saying there when they watched Southampton against Spurs are really good at just playing over the back of them, and because they press high, Spurs are just hitting balls over the back. And can you see Southampton? I know they like to press. I know they like to try and play this style. But can you see them being that naive where they're going to just come out and leave a high line and for the likes of Mane, Firmino, and Salah to exploit?
And I don't know about the high line goal, but they're not going to sit as deep as the last few things. That's not in their DNA, the way they play. So I'm fully expecting an open game, and I'm fully expecting us to beat them by a few clear goals. I think it's just written in our DNA at the minute is where we are struggling is the deep line teams, and we're more than capable. Anytime we've came up against a footballing team, we've been excellent, unless someone wants to jog my memory when that hasn't been the case. But yeah, I've no qualms about this now. I would have an issue with your man Ward-Prowse seems to have his shooting boots on anywhere near the edge of the box, so that's my only real concern. Silly free kicks being given away where you're almost gifting a goal to the opposition with someone that can place it as well as he can. It's I won't say penalty levels, but if you have someone that's that type of confidence hitting the ball from outside the box somewhere, then we just need to be on our guard for that. Otherwise, I'm fairly confident, unless we act the bollocks in that regard, giving silly fouls away in the edge of the box, I think we'll be okay.
Aiden91 says Foster last played for Celtic in March. I knew he was on loan there. I was doing okay, I think, but listen, had to be bashing in goals against them. Somebody else says there, it's gone off my screen, but he did say they did play quite a high line. Spurs just over the top and scored 5 goals. He can't see them doing that tomorrow night. Grizz, or Seany, sorry, coming back to you. Danny Ings, of course, is back for Southampton. He was out for a couple of games. I think he returned against, it might be in West Ham or maybe the game before that. But what dangers he posed was because he has got good movement. He's decent pace about him, and he's good in the penalty box, Seany. Like, it's just that simple. He sniffs out goals.
He's an excellent footballer. He's the complete centre forward. His short game is brilliant. He drops in and he's well able to play on his own. He can play with a partner. He was just so unlucky.
As well, Seany.
Yeah, he was so unlucky at Liverpool, because you look at Danny Ings now and the form that he's in. Like, you couldn't pick a more Klopp forward if you've ever seen one. Just so unlucky with injury. And it's great. Look, I think Liverpool fans always look at him with nice eyes. They love to see him doing well. But you always kind of have it in the back of your mind going, fuck, we're going to have to play against him soon. And I do feel like that. Even if Virgil was playing and at full strength, I think he's that good. I think Ings is an excellent player, a problem. And I think Hasenhüttl has definitely got the best out of him. He's built a system that allows Ings to be predatory, where he brings other creative players into the game. They have so many good creative players. I really, really rate this coach. I rate Southampton as a club. I think a lot that's lost in modern football. They were battered there last year, this time 9-0 at home by Leicester, I think it was, and they stuck by him. And they're now reaping rewards. They've been excellent. They're well coached. They have excellent technical players. One thing that's not talked about is how physical they are. They're a really, really physical side to get stuck in. Romeo's an excellent
I wanted to say that. Who think I fill in the Hallberg hole there now? Because he was excellent.
Romeo.
Right. Big, so fuck him.
He's a brilliant player though. He's a good footballer as well when it comes.
He's a good footballer, but if you get beyond him, he's never catching you.
Yeah, he's not a hatcher. He's not just a hatcher man though. He has got a bit about him.
Yeah, he does.
Look, I think if you take the Southampton game out and watch it individually every single year, it's a tough game. It's always a tough place to go. They've always given us a game, no matter where they've been in the table, no matter where we've been in the table. it's always been tough. Like some great memories there in recent years. Mao's goal there, Hendo's goal there. It's always been tough. We went there last year. I think it was second game of the season. It was tough. Tomorrow night, it's going to be tough as well. But like the lad said, this is a different type of test. These are a pressing machine, all-out attack, very physical. They're going to have a go. They will test us, and we have to test them. Now, the lads have to pull the finger out, because if it's the go right tomorrow night, we've got to be clinical, and we've got to be better than we were at Selhurst. We've got to be on it. We can't be as sloppy, because they will punish us. No fans there, of course, but it's still an evening game there. When I can imagine that when you look at the Arsenal game yesterday, the conditions as well could play a part. I know we both have to play in it, but look, it should be a cracker. It really should, because we've been sort of sleepwalking for the past 2 games. Wounded animal comes to mind. We've got to see a reaction tomorrow night. There's just no if. We can't be in the halfway house tomorrow, because it's not like West Brom at home. If you're not on it, you'll get a point. Or Newcastle away, if you're not on it, you'll get a point. If we're not on it tomorrow night, we'll get beat. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. It's Grizz. I often say when we go out, and I usually say when we go to Old Trafford, when we should come out and try force our game on Manchester United and force our game on most teams that we play. Come out, decide we're taking control of this game, and we'll walk and eventually we get the win. But is there an argument here tomorrow where we should come out and kind of assess things for the first 10-15 and see what Southampton are going to do? Are they going to press us high? Are they going to sit a bit deeper? Let's have a look at those. Let's not fall into any sort of trap earlier on. Let's just see how things are, see how the game plays, and then take it from there, because I think it might be one where we just sit back for the first 10-15, see what they have, and then see what we can exploit.
That wouldn't be my approach personally.
Okay.
The reason for that
was it your approach at El Nino FC, or?
Yeah, I had to. You have to assess the way the other team plays, and like sort of I'd know how sort of the duck and dog used to play. You know what I mean? So
like Bielsa in the car park.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like Bielsa in the car park spying on them.
Absolutely, that was me, honestly.
Yeah.
But with Saints, the reason why I wouldn't do that is because they can play. They're very similar. They're like the older version of us. They can play in many ways. They can play the high pressing game, counter attacking game, or they're very comfortable in possession as well. A lot of the defenders, the guy that got out right back, he's a very good attacking young
Kyle Walker-Peters.
Walker Peters, they got him in from Spurs. I was surprised they let him go. But, again, he's like a mini version of Trent. The other fella at fullback, how he hasn't got himself a big move, I'll never know. But, very underrated Premier League fullback. So they're comfortable in possession. So I don't want them to get comfortable in possession and see how they're playing and them get into their rhythm. We need to impose our rhythm, our game on them. We're the ones that are lacking rhythm, so therefore we're the ones have to start with a rhythm. Do you know what I mean? So if we were going into this game flying, and we had rhythm behind us, then it's different. We can assess the situation. I don't think we can afford to assess the situation when we're playing the way we're playing, especially ending the way the games we're ending. So I think it needs to be pure old school heavy metal type start for us.
100%.
And rock them. We cannot let them get in a rhythm, because I said they've got many ways of playing. They're not your average Premier League team. Sort of the top can play and then the bottom refuse to play. They're in the middle where they can they can play with you as well if you want. Do you know what I mean?
Matti Tariq with breaking news. He says Grizz was quoted in the LFC Norway supporters club. I'd love to know what the quote was. I'd love.
Grizz is actually Norwegian for fucking prick, I think.
Is that what it is? It's very harsh.
Probably.
I'm joking, brother. I'm joking.
I know.
But I'd love to know, Matti, if you can tell us what the quote was. Absolutely throw it in here, and we can discuss it.
I hope it wasn't about camel's milk.
Oh no! Don't! Please, it's the best.
Made a few statements. I wonder what this was.
The comment he made about camel's milk in our WhatsApp group still, to me, is the best comment I've ever seen in any form ever. But Shawnee, do we look at these and see where they are, or do you want to see us go out and go, no, listen, because my fear, Sean, is if we go out and absolutely go at these, they'll just retreat, and we'll come across the same problems that we've seen over the last couple of games. I want this to be a bit open, Shawnee. I want this to be a bit end to end, and I know if it goes end to end, we're bashing them.
No, they won't do that, Gav. They just won't. He's not the type of coach, Hasenhüttl, like that. Like he'll die on a sword. You know what I mean? That's the way he is. He's full blooded. He's very similar to Klopp. He's an excellent coach. I can't imagine he'd probably be there too long, to be honest with you, because I think there will be teams sniffing around them. They will have a go. They always have a go. Southampton always have a go at home. It's just it's what they do. We've got to be honest though. If we're not, we could get punished tomorrow night because they've got attacking players. They have Ward-Prowse, who is playing the football of his life, and look, he's putting himself in the window there as well because he obviously knows he thinks he's good enough to play for a team in the top four, and there's no better place to do it at home to Liverpool because that's literally the biggest stage at the moment in the Premier League. So all of their lads are going to be bang up for it. We will have to be on it, and I just want to see hunger. I want to see. Look, remember last year when we came home from the World Cup and everyone was shitting about Leicester away, and we went on to put one of the best performances we've ever seen under Klopp. We need that level tomorrow night. Although it's tough without Virg there, we still have the personnel to go out here and send a message. And we have to, because if we don't, the narratives are going to keep on building because they're already starting. You heard them on Sky there after City's win. They will build narratives, and it doesn't get easier because we have a tough run of games as well coming up in January and February. So start now as you're meant to go on and let this be the beginning of a run. And like Klopp said, we weren't going to defend the title. Well, let's fucking start attacking it because we haven't. Let's be honest.
Okay. So I think we're all in agreement that we should go at Southampton tomorrow night. Razor, I'll come back to you. Somebody says the fella in the cap is the main man. It's Razor. He is the main man.
I'm disappointed. I didn't even get an entrance team song. I've been off this team for about 6 months.
Well, we did give you one, but you fucked off.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, right.
So if you watch it back later, you'll see our theme tune.
So here,
it was just the Free Willy sound, the theme tune to Free Willy. You spend that much fucking time in the sea. So go on, Razor. What are we going to say?
Look at me. No, well, listen. It was just in regards to Southampton. I want this to be a dick measuring contest tomorrow. And I want us to fucking unload a 12-incher next to their 6 inches. Yeah, right. That's all I want. And we're well capable. This shouldn't be taken about precautions and worrying about things. It's going to be an open game and we're better than them. And I hope we're a bit more vicious, a bit more front-footed. And there's no doubt we could beat them. But I just this apprehensive type of player, it's cocky type of play. Don't worry, the goal will come attitude. I want that out the window, and I just want us to go for it and just say, look, mine's bigger than yours. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Yeah. Nice. Nice way to put it. Thanks. I'll definitely get marked as explicit now. Grizz. Let me see. Motti is back. He says it was from his Twitter. It links us to Botman, David, and Skriniar. I presume is the thing. Grizz, are you linking us to all these players?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, we get back. You're not even denying it. Well done, man. Yeah, all of them. Matty, the chance to say you probably missed out on 3, Matty. You just didn't have enough characters at the Norwegian supporters club. But listen, Grizz, pick me a team.
Oh, it's got to be strong as possible, and what's possible. So possible we know is. We know there's no Matip, so that's not possible. We know THIAGO's back. We know Shaq's back. We know who else is back? Naby's back. So
no way.
No, sorry, Naby's not back, is he?
No,
Naby's not. No, he's not.
Yeah, psych. You there, didn't I? You there?
Don't be fucking stupid.
But listen, we got to go with what we've got, and what we've got is either Phillips or Reece Williams again. You know, between us, I don't know what you guys think. I think Phillips done fine. He's going to be up against probably Che Adams, who's a very much in the Callum Wilson mold of physical, big, strong type player. I'd probably go with him again, personally. The two fullbacks pick themselves. In midfield, Ginny, Hendo, 100%. And then it's a matter of do we go with THIAGO starting, or do we go with THIAGO getting the last half an hour, whatever, 45 minutes? So, or do we go with something completely different and Ox, because he should be fucking rearing to go, right? He's been in training for like 3-4 weeks, full tilt.
Yeah, trying your best there to get those words in. Go on.
And then the front three, they got to go again, and they got to prove that they're the best front three in Europe and have been for 2-3 years, which they haven't shown in the last couple of games. And like Razor says, they've got to play with a certain amount of arrogance, which that we know that they're fucking capable of. But when they do, you can't stop them. Doesn't matter how you line up. We will create chances, and then it's down to us to be clinical. So it's one of those things that will come as if we put all that mentality together, and if we put all those words, and action, put into actions, then they will come. It's like a process. So if we go with that mentality that we're the best front three in Europe, and then we have THIAGO possibly behind feeding them, you can't see Southampton restricting us. And that's what keeps us driving forward, because it's not a lack of chances. We have been creating chances in all those games that we've talked about. We just haven't been efficient, bar the Palace. The Palace game was every shot fucking went in. So we got to get that into our game. And I think the front three pick itself. I just think it's the midfield. Do we start with THIAGO, or do we go? I don't think Jones will start this game. I think it will be Ox or THIAGO. I'll go with THIAGO to start.
Okay. Eve M says Alisson, Trent, Williams, Fabinho, Robbo, Hendo, Gini, THIAGO, Mane, Firmino, Salah. Okay, I'm just reading it out. Leave Eve alone.
No, actually, she's got Williams, or he or she's got Williams starting.
Eve is the name. Lloyd Daniel, interesting question. He says, does the panel think we are changing our centre-back partnership too much? I know we've had injuries, but the switch between the two lads has not helped. We should be picked one and go with it. Shawnee, go on, answer that.
Yeah, it's a fair point. I think consistency is a massive part. I think when you're chopping and changing the squad, usually, if you look at our players who play the most games, I think the back five played nearly 38 games, bar Alisson because he missed a few games, but they're nearly 38 games a season, man. Like, Robbo doesn't miss much football, Trent hasn't missed much football, Virgil has missed virtually none before that little scruff done him, and Gomez has been in and out, but we had Matip there, so they were the only two we'd really alternate between. It's horses for courses though, because I do think about young centre-halves, I think Phillips has different attributes to Williams. I think Williams is a far better player on the ball. I think his distributions are a lot better. I think when you're playing teams at home, the lesser sides at home, you can use a Williams because you need that. But we were let down big time by Phillips' distribution against Newcastle because his passing was terrible. It was always behind the player next to him, and it just slowed us down in attack. So I can understand why Klopp is mixing and matching with them too. It's fucking mad that we are really where we are, considering the situation that we're in. We're playing the best holding midfielder in the world and centre back, and he happens to be the best centre back in the league at the moment. So we're riding it out. I don't know who I couldn't tell you who I'd go with tomorrow night, because I think
this season, Gav, though, it's surely the fact that has to be taken into account that the Williams not being in the Champions League squad and us not having a centre, or Phillips, sorry, should I say? What am I listening to here? Sorry, bear with me. So we have a situation where he has to sort of keep two centre-halves on their toes that might be playing games sort of thing. We haven't had that situation. We've had a centre-half that was literally bulletproof, and likewise then just one beside. I mean, it's sort of an unwritten 10 commandment of football. You don't really change your back line unless you have to. It's about building familiarity with each other and so on. But it happens, and it's happened through injury, and he sort of has to do it. We're going to have games where one can't play in a Champions League game. He has to keep one sort of fresh. You can't have a player now, if you take, for example, now hasn't played and is going to go straight into a Champions League game because we want to keep a setback line in the Premier League for that amount of time, and then this fella's going to get thrown in there for the Champions League game. So it's a balancing act this time, unfortunately, and it's all down to circumstance. What I will say is, to piss on everyone's cornflakes, is both games, the last 2 games where they played, the fucking getting caught for pace. Oh, Jesus Christ Almighty, the 2 of them at one stage. This is where
I'm faster than them, right?
Yeah, no, listen, like, I mean, we know how good Virgil van Dijk was, but I think we took it for granted about his pace. He used to be able to give attackers who generally, through the years of football, right, if attackers got ahead of your centre half, they were gone. Pacey thing. We had a centre half that could give these fuckers a head start and catch them. And I mean, we were spoiled. And now to see fellas breezing by our centre halves, like literally in a foot race, just leaving them for dirt, you know, it's a little bit scary, but it's a hurdle we'll have to get over.
Shawnee, pick me your 11, please. Ray, you're up next.
Yeah.
Alisson, Robbo, Fabinho, Phillips, Trent, Hendo, Gini, Ox, Mane, Firmino, Salah.
Okay, Ray?
Yeah, I'll probably be the same. I'm on the fence really about Chamberlain or Thiago. I think now is the time. I think Jones was in a position there after a few games where he was almost undroppable. He was hitting that type of form. Now he's getting brought into the team, and now it's almost a lesson. Almost that right, the standards have dropped, and you're at a big club here, and when your standards even drop a little bit below that, then you're going to get replaced. And that's the currency of Liverpool at the minute, that we have people coming back now that are literally, if you drop off, even drop down a couple of percent, you're replaceable. So I think Jones won't start, and I could swing either way on Thiago. People will probably say it's better to bleed him in longer term. I don't know. This might be a little bit less of a rough game than the likes of Newcastle and thing. That Thiago coming in might be an option.
Plus Battery says, did you see the video of Pogba telling Shaw to dive? Yeah, that was the crack, wasn't it?
It's great.
It's
great. We should be doing them all. We should be chasing reps. We should be diving on the ground.
Absolutely. And you know what?
If we don't start doing it, we're going to be left behind. So
it's not the right thing to do, but it's the right thing to do.
Exactly.
You know, it absolutely is, because that's the way the game's played now. Like Sadio Mane against Newcastle, why he's even trying to go for that ball, I don't know. As soon as he feels that hand around his leg, get on the ground. Don't worry about the ball.
Exactly. Stop with the fucking match of the day pundits, Real Britannia. This isn't the way the game's meant to be. Fuck off. This is the way the game is. If you get touched, you go down.
It absolutely is. It absolutely is. And sad, like, it's literally like that Pogba penalty the other night. Don't get me wrong, people are saying he clipped himself. There was a slight touch on him, but it was a natural running position they were both in. There's nothing in it. There's no intent. He doesn't even know he's doing it, the player. But the way the game is gone, they go to VAR and they go, oh, well, he has clipped him. Yeah, you haven't made a mistake, give a penalty. You know what? That's the way the game is now.
Yeah, they're not even booking players for simulation now, so fucking do it anyway. Them to make
just go on the ground. Yeah. And it's not the game.
You have to play the game.
You absolutely do. You absolutely do. And it's not the right thing to do, but it is the right thing to do, because it's simply the way football is now. You know, you used to say, like, you give the advantage to attackers in the offside rules, and you give this and you give that. This is now your advantage, because you're not getting it on the offside rule now. This is now where your advantage lies, and you need to go and take it. My team would be, I would actually go, I'm a bit torn on Thiago. I don't know whether you play him and does he blow out after 45 and then you give Southampton a bit of initiative with him going off, or do you bring him on with 30 to go? I'm not too sure, but I'm going Wijnaldum at centre half. I'm going Wijnaldum at centre half with Fabinho, simply because Wijnaldum is quicker than the other two, and I think it'd be needed. He's aggressive. He's a very good sense of where he is, and I think with that numbers coming back in midfield, I think it's something we can do. So I go Alisson, Trent, Wijnaldum, Fabinho, Robertson. I'd go with Henderson. I would play Jones. I actually would play Jones. I'd play Henderson, Jones, and I don't know. I don't know whether to go with. No, do you know what? Put Thiago in at the start. I think if you and I put him at the base, and I'd let Henderson and Jones walk either side of him, and I go with the normal front three. But I would most certainly be looking at making a change in attack way before 92 minutes, unlike the other night. So that would be my 11. I would put Jones. Jones is there. No, I changed my mind. No, I changed my mind. I'll go with Henderson. Who did I give you there? Henderson. Jones and Thiago.
You put Seany at centre back.
Yeah,
That's
Henderson,
a mad
Jones,
shout.
Thiago.
I don't know why you've done that. Why you like this?
I think if there's a midfielder going to play as centre back, I think he could go Hendo.
No. Henderson, Wijnaldum on the turn is way quicker than Henderson, and that's what you're going to be. You'll be chasing the ball on the turn.
Henderson is one of the quickest players at the club. Do you know that?
Yeah, I know, but not on the turn. Not on the turn. Not for me.
What's the turn? He's 10 yards to go to his goal, you man cunt. He's playing centre
half. Not the way we want to play. We're going to be high up the pitch, lads. We're going to be in there half.
We haven't been high up the pitch.
Who's the original three here? I had Henderson. I wasn't sure.
Gav, your shout was that mad. None of us have a clue who you've just said.
Well, I'm going Henderson, Jones, Thiago. That's what I'm going.
Jones anywhere near there.
Why?
Because he needs to be scalded. He's a young
no.
Yeah,
no. You put him back in. Put him back in.
No, he does.
Yeah.
I was very surprised he started against Newcastle. Very surprised. And
I'm going to throw him in. I'm going to throw him in. I'm going to throw him in.
I tell you what, you get the bollocks kicked down.
Yeah, well, he'll probably learn as well. If he gets the bollocks kicked out of him. Grizz, give me a prediction.
Prediction. I think we win. I think we win at this stage. I'm going with. I'm going with
Grizz fills that page as a possible result.
At this stage, and listen to my words carefully. At this stage, I'm going with a 3-1 win.
Okay, Seany.
Yeah, 3-1 as well. I'm going, Gav. It's fucking. We've got to wake up. Surely we're fucking finished sleepwalking.
Red Steve says, "Guys, pick the 18 players. Everyone starts." I'm telling you, I'm spending too much time with Grizz.
I'm picking cornerbacks, fullbacks.
Battery warning's coming on me.
Fuck! What is the story with the?
I'm back.
All right, what you do? You have to flick a switch.
No, just plug it in.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Flick the switch. Razor, give us a score.
I'm going 3-1 the Reds.
All three of us.
Oh, fuck's sake, change it.
Your predictions, lads. I'm just telling you it's 3-1. So now you're all, yeah.
Okay. Stay in your lane. I'm going with a 1-1 draw. I think we draw 1-1.
Ginny scoring,
from Gav. I think there's fucking carbon monoxide in your house now or something.
No. That's what happens when you drink.
When Adam's fucking playing centre back.
Lads.
1-1 draw.
I
was just gonna say, your brother's right, Sean. Your brother's dead right.
Your brother's not right. He's a busy cunt. Don't mind him.
I think Gav's trying to get a statement on the Norwegian fan site like me.
I think we're in a bit of a situation here where we're having. Listen,
have you say that in Norwegian?
Now, I was if you hadn't cut across me there, I was going to say nothing. But see that bike behind you? Yeah. Over your shoulder that you're trying to block now. We'll be having a little discussion about that in a minute because it must be raining in London because all you do is use that to hang clothes on to dry them. Listen, come here. I think we are in a bit of a flux at the moment. I think we're changing a lot of players. Like we're talking there, centre half, change centre half. Is Thiago coming back? We're desperate to get him in, even though he's not match fit. I just think we are in that. We're treading water a little bit at the moment. Now, don't get me wrong. Liverpool could absolutely come out and destroy Southampton tomorrow because that's what Liverpool... I've always said it. There's no better team around to react to adversity than Liverpool. I still stand by that. I just feel we are in that kind of situation. And I'm more than happy. Not more than happy, but I'm content with the fact that if this is our little rut where we get players back and we start to find form again and we turn into the middle end of January and we're within a couple of points of the league, I'll probably still top. You never know. I'm absolutely fine with that. I think Southampton...
Five games about more than a little rut, would it not be?
Well, they beat Palace. Well, they beat Palace and the two draws. I think if you go 3 or 4 games, you're looking going, that's a bad run of form. And that is what it is. I'd love Liverpool to win tomorrow night. They have everything within the means to win it. But tomorrow night to me just feels like one of those where it's one of those where we might come away going, really good performance, and Southampton got lucky and we got a 1-1. But listen, the lads are going fucking mad. You're not allowed to fucking give a less than 4-1 at this stage. It's fucking mad. Lads, that's the teams, that's the predictions. I want to move on. Grizz, your thing from your little piece of equipment from Manscaped arrived during the week, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
And just before you start, your words to me last week was, I can't wait for this to get here because my nose is getting it. How did you get it?
You know what? No, I flopped. I didn't go with the plan. I haven't used it yet. Do you know why? The temperature's dipped. I don't know what it's like over in Dublin, but over
here
it's
very cold.
It's grey swimming weather, Chris. Grey swimming weather.
Oh my God, no! You know me, so I've let it grow for a little while, a bit more, because it's keeping my face warm and everything. I've yet to sort of trial it, but I'm very much. Put it this way: I'm gonna get its worth out of it when it gets into my nostrils. That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
I haven't done it yet.
Seany, your Weed Whacker arrived. Weed Whacker, of course, is this nose clippers from Manscaped, and I have to say that the Lawnmower 3.0 that we got with the ball cream and all stuff was amazing gear that we used over Christmas. Like, lads just checking themselves every day.
Yeah, lads, listen, can I cut us off here? I've been away for a while. Get me fucking sorted.
Okay, we'll look after you. I was about to ask you, but we'll look after you. Cut across me again, I'll bait you. Seany,
use mine if you want, right?
you can come over to his
Lovely.
But
have a smile like a Brillo pad.
Seany, have you used yours, Seany?
I haven't used the Weed Whacker yet, but I will say again, like the packaging and that is flawless. Like it's unbelievable the way they send it in, all the black and gold on. Seems real prestige, but my mod thinks that I have a fella on the side now or something that's sending me all these beauty products. So I'm gonna need a letter off you to say no, It's only yours. Don't be worried.
I'll email you afterwards.
I will get around to using it. I need it like a doctor's now. Do you know what I mean? Like fucking. Yeah. They don't want dildos and all showing up to me gaff next week. You know, don't be giving out. No, I haven't got around to using it yet though, but I will though because it's something that I never really looked at me nose here because it's never something I've had issues with yet. Yeah. But I will have a go at it. I will have a stab at it.
Razor, you said to me there, like, get me sorted out. Are you a man that looks a bit of manscaping and the whole lot, yeah?
100%.
Yeah,
100%. Listen, we're sort of on a family show, aren't we? So I need to be careful what we say. But you have the other half in your life. You have the other half in your life, and the days of wanting the male lion mane is well and truly gone. They want a man sort of in his actions, but in looks they want a bit of a smooth operator.
yeah. So this is right up your street, Razor, because
100%.
Yeah, because like a couple of lads have offered, like Phil genuinely said, get me one of those things and I'll do a live video of myself manscaping. I was like, you're all right, pal. I won't go that far. Let me see. Red Steve says, Seany.
Nobody wants to see.com.
Yeah, Red Steve says, Seany, won't be any better you saying you're just shaving your balls for Gav. Yeah, you can't do that, Seany. You can't run around and go, listen, I'm just shaving this because I'm due to talk to Gav on Sunday.
Yeah, when I got the force cut, I said, where'd you get that? It's off one of the lads. I said, what you mean? It's like, off one of the lads that does the podcast.
Yeah.
She was like, you sure? I said, definitely, yeah. Look,
yeah.
I'm gonna need an out off you at this stage.
Yeah, I'll send it on.
It's getting a bit touchy.
Yeah, I'll send it on official LFC Daytrippers paper and all.
I woke up last night. She had me fingerprint on the phone trying to get into it, so she was
checking out the delivery from DPD.
Yeah, she went down to a man from Amazon. Where did that come from?
Yeah. Listen, if Weed Whacker arrives in the post in an Amazon box and the bushes in between me and next door neighbours aren't well trimmed, there's going to be war and we go.
Yeah. No. Well, listen, Razor might be the man to get sent the next lot of equipment, and of course he's very, very open to trying it in any sort of way. And of course, Razor, who spends most of his time in the sea now, like he's literally got square pants at this fucking stages in the sea that long. Like Razor literally goes to work and then just goes out to Portmarnock off the Dublin coast and just walks into the sea. and then comes back and tells you it was freezing.
I won't have a bad word against it.
Do you know what? I can't get over? But you know what? I don't actually believe you like swimming. I'll tell you what it is. You have one of those fancy Samsung phones, and I think you're doing the absolute utmost to show us what the range of ability it has. And I don't think you even like swimming. You know, I think it's just all about taking shots and slow-mos and stuff like that.
Of course.
You shouldn't knock until you try, because
I am not going out into the fucking sea cold.
Well, look,
I'm not going to lie to you and tell you it's not cold. It's fucking freezing. You can't feel your feet after 5 or 6 minutes in the water. But when you get in there and come back out, Gav, you live like you never felt.
What you mean? Oh, yeah, you're about 100 miles from the nearest fucking beach, you mad cunt.
How do you know that?
Really being full of ice out the back.
You live in Luton. You live in Luton.
You've only seen the pub. How do you know
you live in Luton? You know what? There's a big beach behind that pub where I live.
You've only seen the pub, so shut up.
Yeah, Chris sitting there completely landlocked, telling you how great the beach is.
Hold on.
Chris telling you you've only seen the pub, forgetting that you have a map.
But that's not the point, Razor. That's not the point. All I said was that kind of activity is amazing for your blood flow. So why the fuck do I need a sea in Luton for my blood flow?
You answered there as if you're in the sea 6 days a week.
He has a wheelie bin full of ice out the back garden, and he just.
I've got one of those showers that, you know, one of those, what are they called, Shawnee? When you pull the cord and the cold is like a cold water splash. One of those. Yeah. No, it's different.
I don't.
No.
And you just pull it and it just comes.
That's the one. That is amazing. I just do that a lot.
Do you have a toilet? Do you have a toilet in the house, or is it outdoor? What's the story? Is it an outhouse? What's going on?
Oh, come on, man. You know Andy's gonna fucking start googling my house and how much it's worth and everything. I can't He's a man, cunt.
That was the best ever. Grizz showed Andy a picture of literally the fireplace in his house, and within 20 minutes, Andy was able to tell him how much he bought it for, and when he bought it, it was phenomenal work. Lloyd Daniels said he tried it 2 days ago, smooth as eggs. Manscaped gear, it's absolutely the business. It is. It really is. But look, I move away from that. The other night, we're going to do another five minutes or so, but the other night when we thanked everybody for all their help, their generosity, their support during 2020, within the tweet we asked people for their favourite moments on the shows of 2020, and some of the stuff that came back to us was unbelievable. So if you can remember them, throw them into the chat and I'll read a few out. But Seany, I'm going to start with you, and we're going to go back to the days of the drafts, and we were doing the drafts because basically there's no football going on, and we were trying to keep as much content out there as we could to keep people entertained, and we were trying to pick, I think it was the Champions League 11, and the rules were you couldn't have it was a Champions League 11, and you could only have 2 players from the same country across all 3 teams and stuff like that. And Grizz got first bounce on a striker, and please tell me who he picked, because it was unbelievable.
I still can't believe this when you come to think about it. The most obscure country and fucking player to ever win the Champions League. He picked fucking Goran Pandev. I nearly had a stroke. I was banging my fucking screen on my laptop going, what's going on here? Is Grizz alright? Is he just freeing us up? But in fairness though, I think what happened then in the end was Grizz, the fucking pure politician, ended up winning that challenge when he went on. But
he goes on to Twitter and he DMs everyone and he basically says, vote for me, and I'll give you some transfer news. That's what he does, and that's how he wins it.
No, I don't know. Listen, looking back, I think it was correct me if I'm wrong, lads, and I'm sure you will correct me. But looking back, I think it was the first one we done, and I kind of panicked. And you know when your brain gets all scrambled.
No, it wasn't. The Champions League one was no way. It was
one of the first ones, and your rules were fucking stinky. Right? I didn't know what the rules were. No, Tony, do you remember his rules?
Damn you, stinky rule, motherfucker.
No, he said
you can only have a midfielder that was born on a Tuesday.
Those ones. Right?
I just sat there drinking cans and just said, "Yeah, you pick these ones."
He sent us the rules in about 5 20-minute voice notes, right?
Yeah.
And we had to read them, and it proper got confused. And You know.
But hold on. Tell the truth.
Like
Tell the truth. I send all these, right? And then you press play on them for a second and then stop them. So it looks like you've listened to them. And then about 15 minutes before you the show, you go, so what the fuck's going on then? Well, what's the story with this podcast? And I go, did you listen to them? Oh, well, I'll tell you what we do. We just come on a few minutes early and you can tell me. And then he turns up at 2 minutes before we start and goes, so just tell me the rules. And then I say no, and then he gets upset. That's what happens. That's the truth.
Goran Pandev was wild, but it was one of those, it was confused thinking. And looking back, you know, that was the only weak player in my team, Shawnee. So the rest of the team was fucking amazing, and that's why I won the vote. But look, happens. We all have mad shouts, right? We've all done mad shouts in our lives. So let's get over.
Kev O'Sullivan says 353 likes. Let's get it to 400. Come on, people. Yeah, go ahead. Go on, Shawnee.
Great show for Grizz, in fairness, because you really narrowed down the choices for Macedonian Champions League winners for the rest of us lads. So fair play to you for that.
Yeah, no, there was some absolutely cracking things. The next one is actually around Grizz as well. This is the night that I allowed him to host the show. He asked me how it works. I said, look, Grizz, I sent him a voice message going, listen, this button to start, this button to end. He went, yes, perfect. He starts the show, tells people he doesn't have a fucking clue what he's doing, knocks off his own camera to reveal a set of legs with like a set of high heels. And for about 3 minutes during the show, just a set of high heels talking to everybody, which was absolutely fantastic. And loads of people are just throwing in pictures of high heels now and remembering that. So that was absolutely amazing.
I can't explain that.
DMs were full of dirty bastards after that.
Yeah.
The proposals I got after that, I can't explain. I can't go into. Fucking hell, man. But that was mad. I can't even explain what happened there. Suddenly there was a set of. No, do you know what it is? I think they're from. Someone tell me. Someone's got to back me in the chat. I think they're from a movie or something.
Cinderella, what do you blue slippers?
No, they were green, like lime green high heels. You know, it was a Friday night. Come on, you can't blame me.
Yeah, no, it was absolutely unbelievable. Another one, Razor. I don't know if you've seen this, but was the night the lads were doing the forum and Peter Smith is going on a rampage. He's going on a rampage and he's sitting there. And I always like Peter. I always say, why are you in the walk-in wardrobe doing this podcast? Yeah. But he's going on. And next of all, his wife just comes in, doesn't give a fuck that he's on a podcast and just goes, listen, you keep it down. And he's trying to make his point while trying to say, oh, yeah, no problem. And he's trying to usher her out of the room. That was a quality one. Ray, did you see that one?
I did see that one, and just to pretend that, to stave him, slag him, ha, that would never happen to me. I locked the kitchen door so Nicky can't do it.
You're on the same side.
Yeah, brilliant. It was like a man, the BBC, that time his kid came in while he was live on air. Excellent. You can't beat it. Unscripted shit like that, just making the show with someone that's excellent.
It was unbelievable. I think his words before this happened was something about a player not being able to win an argument. I think they were his words, and then the wife just rocked in and went, listen, you, keep it down or I'll punch the head off you, which was brilliant. Shawnee, I want to come to you because I did mention Cristiano Ronaldo flicking the ball onto Shane Long. Those drops were brilliant, Shawnee. And even like at one stage, I think we had Lee Cottonball in the side because we couldn't get anybody else in. Do you remember that?
Fucking Lee Carsley and all was Steve Stone. There was fucking literally, honest to God, I never thought I'd see the day where fucking what's his name played Luke Chadwick would be treading through balls into Leo Messi. That's how bad it got. That's how bad your rules got. It was great. It was great though. It was at a mad time when none of us really had a fucking clue what was going on, and people were genuinely frightened. I don't want to get too serious here, but they were because they didn't know what was going on, and it was a bit of a release for an hour, not only for the couple of hundred lads in the chat that were watching, but for the lads that ended up doing it. And look, we had great crack, and if there was another 2-week break in the football, I'd have no problem with getting back in because that great crack, and it's great getting people involved. Some of the quizzes were great, even though I'm going to own up now. It's 2021. I promise to be honest this year that I cheated in every single one of them quizzes. I had a second monitor out. A second monitor. I'm only messing. I didn't.
Oh, fucking hell, my eyes.
It was great. The shouts were flying, Gav. And you made them difficult. There wasn't like fucking look, it could have got Wanky, Ozzy, Dan, Hadji, fucking everyone, but we ended up with some playing mad teams.
Yeah, well, that was the whole point behind it. By making these mad rules, it really had to first test your knowledge, and secondly, you ended up with some oddballs where you threw it on Twitter and people going, like, you know, what the fuck you at, Seany? Like, what are you picking him for? And then Seany had to explain himself, and then it was just, you were living in a world that's
My personal favorite was when we done the THIAGO, and we started with Razor's edit.
Yeah,
the THIAGO. You know, he does the which one was it? The countdown to THIAGO, whatever it was. You know,
yeah.
That was a fantastic show because
that was
the whole fan base was just absolutely buzzing, and we had waited all summer for this fucking saga to end, and you know, we'd promised them THIAGO and we delivered them THIAGO, and fucking it was amazing.
We still haven't seen him yet.
Yeah.
It's a great one there, and it's a shout out to Keith, who's been like a cornerstone the podcast.
Keith's amazing.
He's not here tonight, obviously. Hopefully he's watching, but when I was watching the night when Keith done the list of null and voiders, and it was literally like watching a Rocky film. I was fucking.
It reminded me of, you know, when I think England are beaten in the late 80s, early 80s, and the Norwegian fella.
One hell of a beating.
That's exactly what it reminded me of. It was absolutely sensational. Dan J says, Dan J just remembers Catamal anchor in the midfield with Tony Cruz, which was brilliant. Kev O'Sullivan says the drafts got us through the worst of the first lockdown, got a gang of us all together. I loved it. That's what it was about. You know, a lot of people were I don't know, they were probably trying to put out content and be, you know, let's be all informative and let's try to. We weren't. We were like, lads, we talked about this and we said, look, we can do bits of transfer stuff if possible, but we literally just said, look, we're just gonna have to have a laugh with this for as long as it takes. And don't get me wrong, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's hard to do the drafts. It's hard to actually get yourself up and go, I'm doing a fucking draft tonight. But every time we come on, the laugh we had was unbelievable.
That fucker hasn't been in the chat since he got a few wins. He's starting to smell. David Moyes hasn't been in now in a few weeks in the chat.
Yeah.
David Moyes and Arsene Wenger are organising straighteners in the chat. Like, it's fucking
that was brilliant.
You would not get that on any other YouTube channel. And this is what the Trippers has always been about. Stuff like that, having the crack, like
mad stuff. Well, we're not afraid to say that. In fairness,
it's always been the way. And look, it'll never lose that touch, and it's great to see that coming back in. So, David Moyes, if you're watching, fair play to you, Chief. You're doing a great job.
He was great crack. Barry Devaney says, I hope Andy didn't get his bins emptied over Christmas. Of course, this is in reference to Andy calling all bin men scumbags and accusing them of being the culprits when it comes to robbing catalytic converters, which was a bit of good crack that night. I couldn't stop laughing. I nearly choked. Of course, me and Andy.
Bin man, does he?
Yeah, he hates them. He calls them all scumbags.
All his waste is Evoca made cardboard and is 100% recyclable and picked up by a courier.
Yeah, it probably is. One of my favourite shows I done this year was when me and Andy had genuinely a 30-minute debate over Easter eggs and could you make a completely solid one and would it get past health and safety? And Andy's argument was, no, you could bring that into Anfield and you could hit someone in the head, which was unbelievable that night as well. There was so many good. Good. Nagib Mohammed says, Gav, no mention of cute. I think this is in reference to Grizz calling cute a bastard on the show. That was sensational. Andy's milk story, of course. Andy does. I can't remember the name of the milk exactly. People are asking about Andy's cousin that only eats cheese. Andy is actually working on trying to get him onto a podcast. The air fryers, of course, big argument over air fryers. Keith's still convinced that he can bake a cake in it.
But guys, check this out. All these memories, and we've only been fucking doing this bollocks for about 3-4 months. Eh? Look, all these.
It's about 6 months when we really put a bit of effort into it. Yeah.
Amazing. Long may it continue. I say, long may it continue.
There was some absolutely
real continuous. Now there's the fucking nowheres and graces, which there's never been about the Trippers. Never been. As soon as you start going down that road, that's when the content will start going to shite. So look, it's a gang of lads talking about football. Nobody's 100% right, and we're more than willing to get called a fucking prick for our opinions being arseways.
Listen,
I was here.
But the thing is, Ray, I genuinely welcome people having a go rather than saying, you know, oh great, and I know loads of lads are the same. They want to be challenged. They want to be challenged, and they want their opinion to be challenged and called names, and that's absolutely fine. Shawnee, I wanted someone that's popped into my head there. I don't know if you watched it, but Nilo telling us about his guitar lessons, but he had no guitar.
I was literally on me back laughing. But I actually had to send him a message after because he was doing air guitar without the guitar.
To watch you.
Long-haired lover from Liverpool. It was genuinely that.
Did you not actually hear? Did you hear the story?
No.
So the story.
I thought might have been.
Yeah. Well, the fourth. You can tell that story. You can tell that story now. That he opened up this way that he went to school in Clondalkin, Round Towers in Clondalkin. And his mother wouldn't buy the jumper with the crest on it. So he was to get the woman across the road. You know the way you'd buy a crest and stitch her onto a jumper?
Yeah.
But his mother wouldn't even do that. So he had to go across to the woman across the road. And your woman used to stitch in. It was a tower, right? Imagine like the Everton Tower, I suppose. You know, something like that.
Exactly,
but that's actually what the Round Tower is in Clondalkin as well. It's similar to the one that...
Yeah, exactly. So Nilo said instead of buying a patch with the thing on it and sewing on and being a bit cheap, his mother went all out and said, "No, Mary across the road will do for you." But your woman wasn't stitching it into the jumper, you know, with thread and making it look good. It was she done it with wool and it wasn't straight. So he said it looked like a mixture between the Leaning Tower of Pisa and a woolly cock, and it was just he had to go to school like that. So that was his opening gambit, and then he moved on to the guitar, and I just lost it.
Listen,
it wouldn't have looked the best going to school, I'm guessing, anyway. He persuades the jumper. 6 stone soaking wet.
The crux of the story with Nilo was that his ma sent him to guitar lessons without guitar. So he showed up and he says he went there and everyone was using guitars. And Nilo said, I had to sit there going, is it like that? Is it like that? Is it like that? And his man told him he'd buy him a guitar once he knew how to play one. All of the fact that he never fucking had one going to these classes.
She told him that she wasn't buying him a guitar, but if he stuck at the lessons, she would. And he was there trying to play the long-haired lover from Liverpool, and the man kept coming over and fixing his fingers.
I'm at the drop of me plaque. Where's me plaque?
It was unbelievable.
It was brilliant.
It was unbelievable.
You know what? He should have his own show. I always say it, but we couldn't put it on YouTube because we'd be shut down and raided.
You couldn't have it on the same day every week.
No, Nilo. People are saying he turned up in his first pod in the Mac. He didn't. He turned up on his first show with full PPE on. He had everything on. He had the mask and everything. He looked like something of a casualty. He did. He's an absolute headbanger, Nilo is. He's an absolute headbanger.
It's going to be 2 seconds. 2 seconds.
It's another thing about, we don't take ourselves too serious. And I think you asked Nilo how he felt about the THIAGO news. And he simply just said, I don't condemn myself, but that sort of stuff got him 40 years of age.
He makes me laugh so much, Nilo does. And in fairness, it's most of the lads do. Like the WhatsApp group is it's an asylum. It's an absolute and utter asylum. It just never ever stops. But some of the moments this year have been, or last year now, I suppose. I'm in tears here laughing at Neil. Some of the moments last year were absolutely brilliant. And you know, the one thing that makes them is like we can all sit here and have a laugh between the four of us or the three of us, whoever's on, and it's pointless if the people in the chat aren't knowing what's going on or relate to it. And you know, we've people watching all over the world, but they seem to get it. Do you know what I mean? They seem to, and you know, when something happens, they seem to that they're able to latch onto it and have crackers. And the whole Shane Long thing continues to come back because it's just one of those things. It's been absolutely and utterly brilliant. Like Grizz has done renditions of E17. Keith played the team whistle to Fairy Tale in New York while the Grizz tried to sing it. It's madness. But listen,
if you get to 10,000 subscribers, Grizz is going to be on that Peloton bike and the blue high heels. So that's a promise.
Yeah, if we get to 10,000 subscribers, I will make Grizz do a full show while pedaling on that bike in the background.
Not for the whole fucking show.
The whole show. The whole show.
I'll be sat on it. I'll do as much as I can because come on, I'm not as young.
And if you stop, as you pedal, people will like. If you stop pedaling, the likes will be removed. That'll be the rule. But look, it's just one of those like. When the tweet went out, I'll be honest, I put the tweet out thanking people because genuinely, the last 6 months of 2020, even though shit from a lot of people, the people we met with, on this chat, the people that get involved was absolutely amazing. The amount of people that have, interacted with us and made these shows, you do make them, that's genuine, has been unbelievable. So I did want to thank people, but then when I put it in at the end, tell us your best bits and your favourite stuff, the stuff that came back I couldn't even remember, I was in ribbons laughing. We had Chris Pajak, and he had a big breakdown about air fryers, if you're right. He was literally going, why don't you just use an oven? Then he had another big discussion about big hula hoops, and then he made massive rules about the question where you jump between buildings, which was unbelievable. We've had some absolutely brilliant times. Some great prizes given out, says Rajiv. Of course, Rajiv was denied one night, even though he won before. I think he was denied another one because they found out that he'd won before, so they just didn't give him one. And I don't think that's how competitions work, but they do. It is here. Like, they literally picked his name out and down and did he win before? Fuck off, Rajiv, you're not getting it. And they just moved on and done something else. But Razor, is there anything else you can remember while watching the shows over the last couple of months where you thought, there's something wrong here?
No, listen, do you know what? I have to say that it's been, look, from the outside looking in, I haven't been taking apart in the pods just for fucking whatever. I'm not getting serious on it, but just haven't been taken. But I've been looking from afar, and it's just fucking great to see the interaction, the fan numbers growing, and, never losing the fact that it's a different thing to tell people just to tune in and watch 3 or 4 people talking about something. It's totally different to get people to interact, and you then interacting with people watching it then, because you may feel part of it. And like to say, right, Grizz gets the Dublinisms, which most of us have now at this stage, but even fans, like you were saying, from, or not fans, listeners, members, whatever you want to say, from all over the world getting it as well. And it's growing, and long may it continue.
Yeah. Seany, any other moments before we go?
No, just a whole, I think as a whole, since we really had a good crack at the YouTube, like people coming in, having digs in the comments and all. It's great. It's just like, it's very much the beginning for us, Gav, in this sense. And I think it's only going to get more, but it's important that we always remain the same, like Razor said, because we've had there's a couple of names now who I see in the chat, and I know what they're on Periscope and stuff like that. And although we're still relatively small, we're growing, it's good to see those still in there, and there's a genuine connection there between the listener and the content creator, and that's brilliant that they have that. And the people coming in here and sharing stories and having a dig in the comments, to even have a dig out at each other. One thing is like, and I'm not just saying this, I watch other shows and I do be looking at the comments and I'm like, fuck me, like the levels of toxicity is fucking crazy. Even if you look on Twitter now, you see how toxic it can be. But it's mad that we still have so many rational people in the chat. Obviously, you have people who are emotional and stuff like that, but you're going to get that. We all get emotional at times. It's great, and just fair play to everyone for coming in here. And before any is rat on me, that's actually not a weed plant. It's not even a real oak. It's out by K. So, please don't
so is Grizz's bike. Not even a real oak out by K.
He's sitting in front of
on the ground 2 minutes ago.
He's sitting. Grizz is in front of a green screen.
You can laugh how much you want, but I'm telling you, I'm serious about that. I've taken it out of the garage, right? And
it was Barry Devaney as well, the cunt who said I had a fake jersey. Remember him?
Yeah. Someone else said you look like you were in a cell. Do you remember that day?
Not at all. In fairness, it's like being in the joy. You know what I mean?
Keith got the most.
There was one session.
Keith got the most. Keith was getting an awful time. And then he reacted one night, which was even better.
He was going Russia.
Yeah,
it's the way we, and as Seany says, it's the way we've built this kind of almost. This sounds cringy, but a community. It's like there's a group of us, and we're all the same. We're all Liverpool fans. We all want the best for Liverpool. No one's opinion's more valid than anyone else's. You know, it's and we accept that. And Trippers have always been about that. That there is no right. You are? Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can't fucking say that. But look, that's the whole point of it. It's like, you know, we've built this community, and everyone, and as you say, everyone can relate to everyone, and that's fucking mad. How you manage to do that over YouTube and comments and chat? You know, it's quite a talent, and I thank everyone in the chat. We've got some loyal people that tune in and listen to our shit, but they seem to enjoy it. And, you know, we'll carry on, you know, chatting shit, and they'll carry on enjoying it. And especially in times like this, as you referred to, both of you referred to, it's been a horrible fucking year, emotionally, mentally, for people all over the world. But, you know, we've tried to make it a bit of a crack. I think we've done a decent job, and, you know, long may it continue.
Absolutely. A. Lauren just says, you all genuinely take the chat members as valid contributors to the conversation. It's far and away the most inclusive fan channel that I've found. It really does feel like a like-minded community. If that's how you feel, that's exactly what we're trying to do. So we've accomplished something. If that's exactly how you feel.
Share that opinion with other people. Let's keep it growing.
Listen, like, share, subscribe. If we get to 9,000, Seany will buy one of one of those trees and send it to us. How does that sound?
Fresh off that yoga and blaze up on the podcast.
Stephen O'Connor, not Stephen O'Connor, Owen Book says, and loads of people have asked this, right? The pod of all the day trippers together, is there any chance it goes up for the download? The short answer is no.
Can I cut in? I was on that pod, right, and I was falling asleep halfway through. I mean, it went on for about 94 hours, and some of the stories, like, I mean, you know, Phil 3, 4, and 6 had a conversation for about 9 hours. So I mean, Trev Downey, the ghost of Trev Downey, actually fell asleep on screen in the middle of it.
He did.
That should never go up for fucking post.
Well, just for that reason, one, but for the second reason is, if you try to edit it, and I had a look at it one night, it's impossible. You'd get about 4 minutes of audio that we could actually put out, because the rest was just in carnage. Grizz.
No, I was just going to say, Gav, look, because we like sort of listening to the viewers and listeners chat. A lot of people have been asking about transfers and whatever.
Yeah.
Look, we promised you THIAGO, and we're promising you a centre back this window, and that's my guarantee. We're promising you a centre back. That's all I can say for now. Botman is one of the guys that we're talking to, his agent. But there's been nothing, and I said this, and people getting the wrong end of the stick, but I've said it. I said there's no fee agreed or nothing, but he's one of the guys linked with us. But we'll be getting you a centre back. How's that? This window.
Yeah, I think we've had a chat about this, and from what we've heard, we're fairly confident on a centre back, and I would say sooner rather than later in this window. I know it's only a month long, but
no doubt we're not getting a centre back, lads. No doubt.
If I getting back to being serious, if we didn't get a centre back, it would be detrimental to the season, and I don't think that's 100%. Reactionary to say that. I think we need one. It's unfair on Phillips and Williams to pin a title charge on them, and Fabinho, who's been absolutely unbelievable. But look, we've got to be realistic here. And one thing I always say, I hate the transfer junkies that all they want is new shiny things, but we need one. And one thing this club has always done is, when something is a necessity, they'll do it. They don't know what Alisson, they don't know what Virgil. Something will get done. I'm hoping it's Botman, based on the 50 YouTube videos I've watched from him and very little I've seen him. He does look like the type of profile. I wouldn't be listening to the local journals, because if you haven't by now realised that they're as in the dark as
100%. I was just going to say that
as Garbrian doing a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
The club aren't the way they used to be in that regard. I know someone was leaking teams, but in general, Klopp could say one week that someone was a very important member of the team and he'd be sold 2 days later. So believe me, there's what you're getting told by the club, and even the close club journalists now, I wouldn't hold water with that. They'll do what they want, and they can see blatantly, obviously, what's needed. I'd be really shocked if the centre half doesn't arrive now in January.
Jono says the Trippers are up there with Redmen TV and the Anfield Rap. That's decent, very, very decent company to be in. Somebody saying there that Pierce and Romano have come out with regards to Liverpool and a centre half today. Listen, from what we've heard, it looks like a centre half will come in. The name is not a definite, but I think it'll be. I think they come in before we play United. That would be my feeling on it. Ray, thanks a million for joining us. The reaction to you in the chat has been nothing but phenomenal.
No stick.
No, they literally just said that you're the business. Can you come on some more? And if you can
only
stop...
one. I saw one. One said, "Who's that wanker in a blue kit and a red Liverpool cap?"
Yeah. Well, I seen a couple. I seen a couple, and if genuinely, if Ray can stop running away from the laptop to plug it in, and then just saying, "Give me 2 minutes," and legging it.
I know you listen. Let me cut across you one last second, right? I know you're talking about old Tripper stories, but here's the reason why I have. See, when I drink alcohol, my bladder is
that's right.
Fucking pee. So you get used to this. Listen, on the last, this is why I get stick off all the other lads. I had to bring 3 empty Lucasade bottles with me for the bus trip when we were to go to the Newcastle game before, because we weren't allowed to stop the bus. So as soon as I start drinking alcohol, that's it. Once the seal is broke, I'm gone. So get used to it. And you're not back underneath the table here. I'm going to be with
Nilo knows a fella that can get that sort of stuff. Yeah. Nilo also told us a story one night about being stopped at lights on the Nice Road, but I can't remember exactly what the story was, so I'm not going to go into it.
It wasn't nothing to do with Veronica Gordon, was it?
No, stop, Ray. No. Oh, fuck's sake. Fucking hell, I'm going to delete that, Ray.
Stop the lights on the...
No, this was about being in the full PPE gear and having a smoke or something. It was... Jesus, Ray. Right, we're going. I can't believe we got so far. We're so fucking far into that podcast. He's fucking bad.
Wait, can I play the entrance music now?
Yeah, go on.
Here we go. Money talk. Here comes the money. Money.
Yeah, and now we're going to get done for copyright, which is Ray, you're flying. Is that an edge you'd like to do? No is the answer to that. Right. No, I'm only messing. Listen, I'm having an absolute breakdown here. Ray is an absolute prick. I hope he drowns in the fucking sea the next time he goes into it. Grizz, you're the best behaved, best boy. Thanks for joining us, and we'll talk to you soon, Grizz. Happy New Year.
Yeah, same to you, you gang.
Good stuff. Make sure you put a seatbelt on when you get onto that bike. Shawnee, thanks for joining us again, my man. We probably won't see you during the week because you won't refuse to do anything more than one show a week, which is absolutely fine.
I'm home alone now for foreseeable.
For
a while anyway. So I'll be around. Yeah,
keep your centre half. We don't need your centre half. Shawnee's here on the regular.
I'll be around.
So is here.
Right.
I need to play that soundtrack again.
No, stop.
I'm going for Triple H. So I know. I think it's about 4 seconds. If I get the first 4 seconons in, it'll be grand. So man, now I'm out ahead his dead years anyway. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But his ma's probably watching
it's all about the game and how you play it.
Listen, it is all about the game and how you play it. People are asking.
Triple H enthusiasts watching the pod. Don't rat.
Oh no, rats out. But lads, it's been an absolute pleasure. People asking what the schedule is for this week. The forum is back tomorrow. It will be a match reaction to Southampton v Liverpool. I think Dicko, Nilo, Phil and Andy will be on that. So that mental. Tuesday is the transfer agenda show, the first one of the month. Wednesday's the midweek fix. Thursday we may have a new show. We're working on something and we will let you know on that. And on Friday, we're going to have to walk around Friday because we're playing Friday night and we want to do a Friday forecast, which we will have to do, but we might do something along. We might do 2 shows Friday night. That's what I'm basically trying to say to you. That's been it. I'm going before Razor gets me into any more trouble. Over and out.